Greetings, fellow test subjects. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, the first Wendigo, episode 197, Age Reversal. One of the changes, I only made one change before this stream, but I just want to let you know because it would otherwise be invisible. I did customize the storyteller for the first time. So for the longest time, I was using Randy Random Losing His Fun, just the default. And what I did here was I'll just do it again to show you. So I'm going to do custom, set it to Losing His Fun. Right, so all of this is now Losing His Fun settings, but then raising the child age rate from 400%, which is default, to 600%, so that the children, or whatever you want to call them, specimens that are in the vats, hypothetically age a little bit faster, as one little extra benefit that Wendy can sort of impart upon her science project. I figured that by now, Wendy would figure out how to grow people a little bit quicker. I was looking into making a mod to have like a hookup to the vats, like a vitals monitor type thing to attach to them to make them grow faster. Maybe I'll get to that. Hopefully the 600% will help me enough because I don't really want to build custom mods for this if I can help it, but we'll see. Maybe we get to that, maybe we don't. I'm not sure. But that's where we're picking up. The current goals right now is to implant Lillian and Dom with the xenogerms that we just custom designed for them. So they have some custom designed xenogerms to make them better, stronger, faster, etc. And they need to get cooked up on the gene assemblers and implanted. And then we also have a bunch of new colonists who are about to pop out of the vats, meaning that we have to decide what to do with them. So let's figure out in terms of age. I think it's going to be Madzin, Whammy, and Maxu. We're going to pop out sort of soonest. So we'll decide on Whammy first. So Whammy is 17 years, 1 quadrum, 2 days old. And it won't be very long until Whammy hits 18, gets popped out of the vat. Interestingly... Oh, is this laziness as a result of... No. Okay, Whammy somehow has 4 traits, which is really, I think, probably gay slipped in there and wasn't one obtained by aging up from, 3, 7, 13 or whatever. Because usually colonists have 3 traits, not 4. But what to do with Whammy? So that is the current poll. So taking a look at Whammy's genetics, Whammy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positive genes. They are a dirt mole, more or less a dirt mole, Edekin hybrid. And Furskin is fairly underrepresented in the colony, so it's probably going to be important to keep them around. So as a result, what to do with Whammy? Whammy is male, so Whammy is a pretty good candidate for cryptosleep. I wouldn't put females in cryptosleep because you can't egg harvest females when they're in cryptosleep. They won't regenerate their eggs while they're sleeping, but males can pop out and fertilize eggs, infinitely, essentially, whether they're in cryptosleep or not. So Whammy could be a full-fledged colonist. They do have strong melee damage and dark vision and robust and the things that you would expect out of a brawler. They have learned a good bit of melee while in the pod. They leveled up to level 7 through VAT learning, which is pretty nice. They do have body modder. So the body modder can offset some of the negatives of pessimist as long as we implant some stuff. At least a nuclear stomach, but possibly other things. And whether or not we introduce them as a full-fledged colonist will ultimately be up to you. And then just to let you guys know ahead of time, after Whammy, we are going to be assessing Maxu. So Maxu is here. Maxu is a tough gourmand, great memory. Maxu is not going to be allowed into the colony population as they have trotter hands and pig nose. In fact, they probably... Oh, no, they were already enslaved. Okay, so that's already been sorted. So we don't really need to decide what to do with Maxu. Maxu's going into the prison here. And this hybrid prison is really starting to expand, so we might need to add some additional beds sometime, well, like now. Let's go ahead and get some extra beds in there. There we go. So we'll get some extra slate beds in there to accommodate from some additional prisoners. So that wraps up Maxu. Maxu, because of genetics, is not allowed to be a colonist. And then there's Madzin. That will be another one we're deciding upon. And Madzin, just like Maxu, also has trotter hands, so no introduction into the colony population. So that one's pretty easy to resolve as well. After that, there's Apollo, or Polius, and jealous chemical interest Valdal did learn a fair bit in VAT, right? 33333, so has some potential for skills, and then has pigskin, dirt mole, and Neanderthal genes represented. Another 5/11ths. So you'll be voting on that as well. And then we also over here, let's see, ages 17, 17, 17, 16. So then shortly thereafter, Udigal and Stickiest will be of age. And Udigal here is a 4/11ths, with trigger happy, very neurotic and nudist. Trigger happy usually means pretty good at gunning. And then Stickiest, oh, if I could click you. And I'll go over these once the polls come up. But Stickiest is a 5/11ths with mini horns, which is kind of rather underrepresented. Also a male. Industrious, nimble, and misogynist, so possibly a good brawler. How broken is what? Portapane? Okay, so Whammy is going to be a full-fledged colonist. All right. So let's decide on Apuleius then. And I'm probably going to wait for the rest of the polls because they're a little bit younger. So I accidentally implanted Madsen with the baby xenogerm, which is funny because Madsen somehow managed to gain a passion in mining, but you know, can't be a slave. Oh well. The gene resilient on a pawn that has the trait, though, you're going to have to, like, actually explain what you're talking about. I think you're shorthanding, and I don't get what you're saying. All right. Get a timer up for that as well. All right, I'm gonna change the smelt slag to just anyone. I don't think that the fabricors seem very busy trying to make baby food for our increased vats. So unless we get some additional fabricors, they're just not getting through the backlog of slag. And as you can see, this stockpile is now 99 or 105 slag. So I'm gonna let anyone go through the smelter backlog. How broken is tough and resilient? I don't know what you mean by resilient. You mean reduced pain? Robust? You're using, like, oh, you mean if they have robust and tough stacked together? You'll have to test that on your own. I don't really know the how. So the reason I can't really answer that is there's a lot of cases in RimWorld where some things compound and some things add, and I don't know if it's additive or compounded. I haven't checked the code myself. My guess is it is not just added up for resiliency, but, you know, I could be wrong. We're getting some of the additional beds. And then, of course, if I have to expand eastward, we have this hole here that can accommodate additional prisoners. Oh, Covenant of Amtas coming to visit. Porcupine Pigeon. Wendy will be up in about a day. Hopefully things go smooth until she death rest awakes. Farms look fairly well managed. I did choose to convert some of these back over to hops and psychoid, hoping to get some additional mood drugs, because we've had a lot of mental breaks. And then we still also have the genes regrowing from these guys, Fossey and Sam. I totally forgot about them. So Fossey and Sam, what the deal is here, as a little reminder, they were implanted with heat weakness and slow wound healing, and what I'm hoping to do is scan heat weakness off of them, because I don't believe I have that right now, right? Heat, no, I have it bound, so I want it separated. So let's go ahead and gene ramp one of them, Fossey. This will kill Fossey in the process, but don't care. And I'll flip a coin for Apollo. Unless, Apollo, have you... Okay, you voted that you wanted to be a colonist, so I'll flip a coin. I hope it's heads for you. But here's a prediction for Fossey. So the prediction is essentially, will I get heat weakness scanned off of my next 2 tries? Yes or no? So the hope is that either Sam or Fossey will get scanned, and I'll get heat weakness to be incorporated into the xenogerm implantations for my colonists, because I don't care if we're heat weak. It's really not a problem. There's a bunny in the farm? Oh, there always is. Bunnies find their way into the colony all the time. It's because I have open doors. The open doors allow for raiders to freely enter, which prevents them from like bashing their way in. But then the ramifications, of course, is that animals get into it too. Coin time. Whoop. Oh, good job, Apollo. You remain a colonist. So we'll eventually get around to Udagal and Stickiest, maybe when they're like 16 or 17. We'll run a poll on them. So from what you've read, Robust and Tough does a 37.5 combined incoming. Sounds about right. I wonder how that stacks with the implants. You know, the stone skin, armor skin, etc. I think they're all compounded like that. But when I add genes, the top are natural and the bottom are implanted. Correct. Yeah. So if we take a look at you, Apollo, you were born with your germline genes, also known as endogenes. So this is what you inherited from your parents. So if we take a look at Mitty, oh, Mitty's dead. If we take a look at Shellbell, Shellbell is your genetic father, and Shellbell likely passed on dark vision, strong melee damage, fast wound healing to you. And then Mitty, the strong stomach and robust digestion, and maybe cold tolerance. And then the bottom genes are implanted, and these can be swapped in any time. So once you're out, I will be changing your xenogenes to better suit you for a colony purpose. So the whole point of the Wendigo project is that Wendy believes that relying simply on xenogenes is too weak, because they can be overwritten. And then once they're overwritten, if you don't have them in gene banks, you don't get to be like a hussar again, right? So like, for instance, if you can imagine a glitterworld soldier printing facility implanting hussars, all you would have to do to disrupt that would be to drop one tactical nuke on their gene banks, and all of a sudden all of their data about the hussar xenogerm is gone, and they can no longer make hussar. Whereas what Wendy is doing is she's trying to breed a new species, a new hybrid of warrior, and you can blow up the gene banks all you want. Once you have a stable population of Wendigo, all they really need to do is procreate and you get more Wendigo. And therefore, it isn't, you know, and then if they get implanted on top of genes, all you have to do is overwrite those genes and they become Wendigo again. So it's more shelf stable, for lack of a better term, than relying on xenogerm implantation alone. So as a result, that's why she's doing it. That's the whole purpose of the Wendigo project. And the babies that are grown in the vats, we have found experimentally that they learn better when they have great passion genes implanted into them. So the babies that we think we're keeping, I implant with genes to teach them better while they're in a vat, because otherwise they won't learn anything. They'll pop out as zeros across the board, which sucks. Have a bunch of zeros. It's not so good. Not at least for productivity. But yeah, if you have any questions like that, feel free to ask. All right. So Wendy, you are death rest out in 18 hours. I'll probably try to get her all the way up to 100%, rather than whatever the minimum is to awake. And if she's only 18 hours away, maybe Bryzit call in a trade caravan, because the trade caravan will be here after she's awake. So I'm going to call in a shaman and a glitterworld. Oh, come on, Lilin, just finish that. So this is Dom's xenogerm. There it is. So Dom is becoming a better shooter as a result. So, Operation Implant Dom. So if you can imagine the Glitterworld Empire needing soldiers, one of the advantages of the Wendigo is that you can take breeding pairs of Wendigo and populate worlds that need to get conquered, and you don't have to import gene facilities and growth vats. All you have to do is plop a few Wendigo down and be like, well, I'll be back in 1,000 years, and this world will be completely overrun by Wendigo. You know? Like predator species. They get the job done. So there's some new eggs being extracted from prisoners, so I might want to do another breeding run soon, but I'm going to wait at least until Wendy's up. Dom, you are waiting. Yeah, Dom's waiting. And then Lilin hasn't started her gene assembler yet. Hopefully soon. I had polled a while ago, like 2 streams ago, about trying to butcher the backlog of corpses. So I'm continuing to do that. It's a lot of work to, I think more dead bodies show up faster than I can process them at this point. Ooh, and Mass wants age reversal demanded. So this is a result of our ideology. Our ideology does want, biosculpt, accelerating, and age reversal demanded. And now that Mass is 25, or 26, that's something I'm going to have to start offering, I suppose. Bossy scan, slow wound healing. Unfortunately, that is not what we wanted, so let's put Sam in. One last try for those running the predictions. So I hadn't really thought about where I want to put my biosculpt reversal equipment. I mean, it makes the most sense to have it in a sterile room because it runs faster if it's in a sterile room, but I don't really have a sterile room. Question to you guys: should I make a biosculpting room? So one thing I could do is I could expand the hospital, but there's not a lot of real estate around here to expand into without disrupting other things. Like I could go destroy this bedroom and go a little bit further out, but that's only going to really accommodate like maybe a biosculpt pod or 2. Not much more than that. So here's Dom's new xenogerm. You've changed a totally different color, so you're like a white, sheer white, horned shooter now, right? Shooter planter. So yeah. Oh wow, that is a huge increase to shooting skill. Gone from like 10 to 18. Nice. And Lilin will get around to cooking up her own xenogerm in a minute. Were the notifications off? Not that I know of. You mean Twitch notifications? Or Discord? One more minute to vote in that poll, but it looks like, yes, we will make dedicated rooms for age reversal, or at least that's what it looks like so far. Oh, is my alert noises? Yeah, I guess my alert sounds are off, because you resubbed and I either completely did not hear it, or... I'm going to go with I didn't hear it. Not that the subs are broken, but we'll see. I'll try to notice whoever does next. Thank you, by the way. I hope you're enjoying your vacation. So taking a look around, I am going to draw up a few potential locations for age reversal pods and have you guys ultimately decide where I plop them. So mass is 26. Bryzit still has 2 years until that becomes an issue, so I don't really need to build for skill just yet. And then low is following at 22. So there's still plenty of time to be able to scale this up. Maxu also just papped out, so you need to get arrested. Mass, you go do that. And then you are going to be imprisoned. Oh, and I have a combat supplier flowing overhead. Kiss My Cactus actually has a trade price improvement. Maybe they're the best trader. I know I'm doing like 1,000 things at once. But, what would that be? Stats, trade price? Yep, Cactus at 28. It's better than anyone else, it looks like, at a quick glance. Mass is only 15. Okay, Cactus. Lucky me, I have not cut your tongue out yet. You get to trade with the combat supplier. So the choices, right. So here we go. I'm gonna crudely paint them in. So one could be in here, like biosculpting, nested, like getting rid of these cubby holes and putting the cubby holes on the east side instead, and like biosculpt nesting in here. So that's option number one. I'll just do a Roman numeral or kind of a 1. That's a 1. Surprisingly, right? Here's number 2. This will be Roman numerals, so I'm going to get really confusing here. Arabic and Roman numerals together. Yep. Mind blown, right? So that's option number 2, where I can... Oops. Let's not paint there. Where I can put the pods in like this, you know, line them up, sterilize them, etc. So that's option number 2. And then number 3 is down here. Sort of next to where they sleep, sort of lined up somewhere around here. So this is option number 3. There's also the possibility of biosculpting anyone with scars. Now that it occurs to me, I think we have one person that has some scars. Hold on, before we trade. It was Rogi. So Rogi has a torso and arm scar that we could cure. I don't think Wendy really cares. But, you know, that's a thing that could happen. Mass, why did I draft you? Oh, because, yeah, Maxu, stop that. Gonna have him strip before we imprison. Cut it out. Alright, we are arresting you to the correct prison. Perfect. Oh, some free flake. And then back to Cactus. So I'm not going to need the Z-lol xenogerm. That was to try to split plants and art. We stopped doing that. We started trying to split the slow wound healing and heat weakness. Yep. Jackie Chan, you resubbed. I didn't hear it. So yeah, I think RimWorld's not, or rather Twitch is not kicking off the audible alerts for me. So I don't hear them. Time for revolt. I'm just kidding. Alright, what to trade? Please have something worth something. Nope. They've got garbage. Just a whole lot of garbage. I'm gonna buy another low shield pack, I guess, and sell some of the organs. Yeah, that will do. I keep hoping that they show up with like interesting gene packs, but they never ever do. They just don't. It doesn't happen. Like the Twitch overlords, we deserve alert noises. Can't say I necessarily disagree. A new trader, genetics. Yep. Well, that was there was a mod for that already. I've seen. So Whammy, you are staying out of the pod. We've decided you're going to be a full-fledged colonist with strong melee damage and body modder. And I actually don't really think it matters too much what we end up doing with you. Lazy. Okay, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I could go either way. So it looks like we're going to build the biosculptor down yonder in the 3 area here. So let me get one of those up, and then you guys can decide what to do with Whammy. So I'm going to put the biosculptor here, I think. I'm going to shrink this. Actually, I don't even need that anymore. So that is essentially where I'm going to plop the biosculptors. I'll get rid of the planned number things that I had. And what to do with Whammy? Shooter or brawler? Have you guys pick, because Whammy doesn't really have any traits that are going to matter. So Maxu, congratulations to your permanent quarters forever. Some things that I'll need to do for you. So you are going to be farmed for sperm. And I'm going to only briefly farm you for sperm because I don't necessarily want a ton of it, but I want more than 0. And then we're also going to want to implant a perfect passive prisoner. Because right now you have no... yeah, you have no way for us to suppress you. So here's our prisoner xenogerm that we typically implant. And I think I am going to get rid of tox immunity just to be able to design it quicker. Yeah, I think that's the only change I want to make. So this is going to be perfect passive prisoner Mark 7. Save that template. Has dead calm, kind instinct, has all the stuff we need it to have. Your voting plan was to see what Whammy wants. He loves to get up close and personal. Well, maybe you can encourage others to have you be a brawler. We'll see. I'm not going to put my thumb on the scale, but who knows. And it looks like you are... Okay, and then Madzi also just got dumped out. But Madzi, you have the baby xenogerm, even though you're not allowed to be a colonist, so I need to arrest you. So, Lo, go arrest Madzi. Or Madzin. They're not going to resist, I promise. And Apollo, you're the only one else that is going to pop out soon. So what I want to do is I want to fertilize all these new batches of eggs and then make sure that the best candidates are the ones that get implanted into the next set of pods. But the other thing I needed to do down here for Maxu was to make sure that you are given drugs and correct nutrient paste meals. So I think Lilin might have just finished... Nope, she did not. I was going to say, I thought Lilin had finished up cooking up the xenogerm, but that's not the case. It's 5 seconds left. But I wouldn't implant it anyway, because she needs to make the next one. So So there's Madsen, and Madsen, you will be farmed for sperm as well. On nutrient paste meals with drugs. Whammy, you are gonna be given cannibal fine meals because you are a full-fledged colonist. And so far it looks like you're gonna be a shooter, not a brawler like you wished. But I'll leave that poll open one more minute. The last attempt to separate, or at least for now, to separate heat weakness and slow wound healing is almost done. So that prediction will resolve in just a minute. And then you also, yeah, you're getting your nuclear stomach now. In fact, this should be done with like full real meds. Because you're not a prisoner. There we go. The constructor bots almost have the facility ready. Wendy can wake from death rest safely now, but I'm going to wait until she hits 100%, not 96, which will only be another like hour or two. Tordek, are you over your addiction? Yes. Oh, there we go. We got heat weakness. We got it. We got exactly what we wanted on last try. Awesome. 96% of you thought I would. So congrats. And whammy, we are going to engineer a xenogerm for you in just a second for you to become a shooter, I think. I'm gonna halt the butchering human likes for a bit, just so that I can catch up on the hauling and getting rid of all the tattered clothing, because I don't need it. What other labor is needed in the colony? Well, I don't really have anyone that is capable of constructing, but that would be nice. It's tricky to design constructors, to birth constructors, because I don't have any positive construction genes. So it's pretty unreliable to get someone that actually knows what they're doing. And it takes a very long time of like grinding because they have no passions. But apart from that, maybe just crafting, general crafting, like smelting down slag or cutting stone. We're getting through the slag backlog here just because I opened it up to all colonists and not specifically just robots. But yeah, that's about it. Maybe another doctor, another intellect. So what I might try to do for Whammy's xenogerm, once I'm able, is to lean into the intellectual and have another person that can cook up xenogerms, because I really only have Wendy and Lilin at this point. So having a third person that can design xenogerms would be nice, because Bryzet kind of lost that ability. I could swap planter ponds for constructor bots. One of the advantages of just not relying on human-only farming is I don't have to deal with their moods or anything, right? The bots just work, and they don't have to be managed. They don't have to be fed. They don't put up fusses. They don't punch each other or explode mortar shells. You know, there's a lot of reasons why Wendy heavily relies upon the using of bots, because they're less messy. Considerably less messy. All right, so Wendy's up. Oh, Howerwatt, you still have a shield belt, don't you? You can keep it. Use you as target practice if you try to run away. I'm going to have Wendy go research 1 so she can also help to cook up these xenogerms. But she's back. So we need 2 perfect passive prisoners before I even consider implanting Whammy, because we do have 2 prisoners, Madzin and Maxu, who are not... Actually, that's not... Madzin, you do have Dead Calm, because you have the baby xenogerm. But Maxu does not have the baby xenogerm, so Maxu is potentially riot-worthy, if you will. I'm gonna need to cook them up first. So gene implant Lilin and the new prisoners. That's currently what we're working on. And then after that, I'll figure out who we're going, I'll fertilize the eggs and figure out who we're sticking in the old growth vats. Have I discussed more shelves for uranium? Yeah, that's actually exactly what I'm doing right now. I probably should have kept that small shelf, though. It's dark in here. I'll eventually link all these together and then copy their settings. I don't do a lot of, shelf linking. I don't know why, there's not a good reason. There we go. So that's a lot of shelves for the uranium. Should be plenty to reload, and it doesn't block pathing for the most part. Oh, these might not have linked. We'll see once they're built. But if it's done correctly, it all should just be uranium. Ooh, a shoot frenzy for mass. You want to be younger and shoot faster. Like a true cowgirl. Okay, yeah, it worked. Good. The under construction ones inherit the link. So this is perfect passive prisoner. This has got to go into Maxu immediately. Done. And then the sperm stockpile might actually need to grow a little bit, depending on how many different male specimens end up at the prison. But she is cooking up another perfect passive prisoner. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld the First Wendigo, which originally streamed live on Twitch June 14th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Wendigos.